Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Hello, Melissa.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. I am feeling a bit capricious tonight.
Oh, big word. Why so?
Don't ask me what it means.
It's like the short pants. That's not quite
Yes.
pants, but they're not shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ones I used to tool around in when we first met that really caught your eye.
Mid-calf length, I believe.
I think my calves, I don't want to brag, but they're pretty impressive. I'm feeling capricious because we're going to try something tonight we've never tried before.
Something different.
What are we going to do?
Gonna change it up.
Yeah.
You watched a movie.
I sure did. Which
I didn't.
You did not.
Nope. And you're gonna tell me the plot.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask questions.
Yes.
And kind of try to get to I want to make sure I understand the plot of the movie.
Yes.
And you're gonna kind of walk me through it.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of what listeners might enjoy this.
Yeah, sure.
And this might be for the listener who, like me, maybe doesn't have time to watch a movie, but would love like a really cool Nick version of TLDR.
Sure.
TLDV.
TLDV?
Yeah.
TLDW?
Too long didn't view.
Too long didn't watch? We'll work on that. We'll definitely work on that.
Yeah. So, and then I'm going to ask questions, but we've done this in our marriage for a long time.
All the time, yes.
You watch tons of movies.
So many movies.
I can't stomach watching that many movies.
I don't know why. There's something wrong with you. Yes.
But you'll say in the morning, like, oh, hey, the movie I watched last night was really cool. And I'll be like, okay, what was it about? So I guess we're just about to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
yeah, no, that's
I really
fine.
like the way you lay out and kind of feed out the story.
Feeling some pressure right now. Pressure. This is, to me, a really fun evolution of the idea of our podcast, too, because it was curing your perpetual film lag of the past, and now we're fixing your film lag of the present.
I just have film lag all over the place.
All over the place. So
except like 90s and 2000.
The aught?
Yes.
Or do you literally mean the year 2000?
No, the aught.
That's the only one.
That's the time where I didn't have a film lag.
Okay.
But every other time of my life, yes.
Okay. Well, I think I already told you what movie we're watching. Why don't you tell me what movie we're watching? Look at me. I'm on autopilot. I mean, we've done 90 or some of these. So the movie that I'm going to be describing to you is called
Twisters.
Twisters.
Yes.
Do you feel like dancing and shouting when you hear that title? Or
twist and shout? Maybe. Actually, no. I did not think this was going to be a good movie.
What do you know about this movie?
Well, it's like, what I know of it is that it's kind of a continuation, I think, of the movie Twister.
Okay.
Or is it a redo? I'm never clear when they do that.
I'll tell you after we watch the trailer. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, so I guess that's something I want to know. And I know it has Anthony Ramos in it.
Yes.
And the previews didn't look interesting.
Did you see the previews like back when they first came out? Okay.
Yeah. And I felt the same way.
Man, whoever the preview guy is, I'm sorry. Because Melissa was just way harsh to you, preview guy.
I'm sorry.
Wherever you are, maybe you were having a bad day. I don't know. I don't remember the previews that clearly, but I do remember also not liking them. But I think it was more like a bad relationship. But I'm the problem. It's me. It's not you, preview guy. So I don't want you to feel. I'm really concerned about preview guy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Now I am too.
I know.
No, I had the same reaction when we saw this preview as when we saw like all the Jurassic Park.
Oh my goodness.
Extras.
Don't get me started.
I know.
Yes.
But yeah, it's kind of like that whole, should they have done it? Like, do we really need another Twisters movie? Because the original I love.
It's so good.
The original's amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah. And so, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we've established we don't like it. And then, that the original is great. And we don't know what this one's about, really. It's just a guess.
Right.
What do you hope it's not about? Like, what are you dreading it would be about?
Sorry, preview guy, but from the preview, I kind of got the impression it was just like more tornadoes. Bigger, worse.
Okay.
It's crazier.
Okay.
And instead of a cow, and you're driving through the house with the cow, there's going to be something else that's crazy, but not really changing the story. That's kind of my fear, I guess.
Okay. That's a valid fear. I think that's a big sequel fear in general.
Right.
I would agree with that. Okay. All right. Are you optimistic at all about like what this would be about, the movie? Like any optimism, or is it all fear-based?
Okay. Well, now, first of all, that's a leading question.
Is it?
Yes. But
I'm a leading man. What can I say?
I will say, like, I also am like open-minded, and I'm usually proven wrong, and that
fair.
Most movies have a story attempt that is usually pretty good. So
sure.
Yeah, there's probably a lot more to it that the preview couldn't show in the smaller.
Oh, of course. I think I just heard we're back to blaming preview guy.
Sorry, preview.
That's okay. We love you, preview guy, whoever you are.
Okay, so what's going on with this movie?
No. I'm still gonna make you make a poster. I really want you to make a poster.
Okay. Twisters.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be like a scene on a field. And in the foreground there's probably a truck.
Okay.
And it might be kind of like there's some action, like maybe it's coming out of a spin or something.
Okay.
And then in the background there's a tornado.
All right.
Maybe some things in the air.
Okay.
What is the tagline gonna be?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. This is the hardest part.
You keep going.
Okay. It's gonna be something like
No, what? Go with your instinct, whatever that is.
What comes up must come down. Or what goes up must come down. No, it's bad. That's so bad. That was the wrong instinct.
And you judge preview guy.
I know. It's not fair.
Wow. I was going to say, like, this time the suck zone gets even worse.
I like the nod to the suck zone. Definitely.
Suck zone's the best line in the other movie.
Don't you want Philip Seymour Hoffman's face to come out of the tornado?
I do.
Like Mufasa in the clouds?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Too soon. But yes. No, it's okay. It's not too soon. It's been a while. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready to check out the trailer and then have me hash
We get to watch
out?
we're gonna watch the trailer?
Yeah, let's go check out the trailer.
Okay, cool.
All right. There's a lot of cowboy hats. That's not good.
We just had a tornado warning day.
We did. That looks pretty big.
It's like Helen Hunt running in her white tank top. That's crazy.
The once-in-a-generation tornado outbreak continues across Oklahoma.
We've never seen tornadoes like this before, and we need your help.
No, I don't chase anymore.
Oh.
Kate, we can save lives.
I'll give you 1 week.
All right,
I'll give you 1 week.
We got PhDs from NASA, FEMA, and Kate, she's the smartest person I know.
Hey, dudes. This is interesting. Who are they?
It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler.
Tornado Wrangler.
Oh my goodness. You know country's my favorite.
Yeah, I know it's your favorite. I know.
We don't need PhDs and fancy tech.
You don't need tech when you got country with tornado.
You got heart.
Sometimes the old ways are better than the new.
Well, you can always trust a guy who puts his face on a t-shirt.
Tornado? Rodeo?
He's a tornado wrangler.
Are those fireworks?
Yes, ma'am. You got quite the reputation,
I
city
think
girl.
they're trying to like
You think you
get
can disrupt
character
a tornado.
across.
What do you mean get character across?
Like that, it's not just from the tornadoes, but there's a character story
In the
here.
moment,
That's how the first one was too,
I got it wrong.
right?
Yeah, first one was really good.
Yeah.
We never had a chance.
You want one?
She said I never got the chance. Said you want one.
Are you seeing this?
So they joined together.
Combining.
I'm not even going to explain.
Go faster.
Let's ride.
Yeah, I mean, preview that, and don't show us the whole movie.
I know, right?
The view of the trolley.
There's a trolley in Oklahoma. Yeah.
It's all right to be scared.
Yeah.
Water tower falling down. I love
Fear's
that.
the reason you
Yeah.
do it. You don't face your fears. You ride them.
My favorite line of the movie.
Is that the tagline?
I wish it, I hope it's a tagline.
You ever see anything like this?
Fire tornado. See, this is where I was like, oh, this. No.
Yeah.
I'm always skeptical before I watch it, and then
Yeah.
I'm hooked if
Yeah.
I see it from the beginning.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
At least it came out in July. That's good timing.
it did.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so walk me through it. What's the movie about?
what did you think of that preview? Seeing it again afresh? Are you cutting preview guys some slack at all? Or I'll take that.
It's an action movie preview.
That's true. That's true.
It kind of follows a
All right.
format there.
All right.
Mhm.
So the most important things you need to know, the cheat sheet for this movie.
Okay.
If you're at a water cooler and you're about to have a conversation with someone, they're like, I just saw Twisters, that 2024 movie that just came out and it's on Blu-ray and I just saw it. You could nod and go, yeah, that's the one with the YouTube guy, right? Where they like do this cool like modern thing where one of the guys, the tornado chaser, he's a YouTuber and he has a YouTube channel.
Oh, is
That's-
that his thing?
Yes.
That's the thing. Okay.
Yes. And if you'll recall, when I was watching the movie, you walked in at 2 points, I think, right?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
And in one of them, I think it was about 15 minutes into the movie, I said, that guy's supposed to be the bad guy. He's not the bad guy. That guy's the good guy, but it's going to turn out he's the bad guy. And then, and then the good guy is not going to get the girl, the bad guy. The bad good guy is going to get the girl. If you follow that.
Yeah. And you had this figured out pretty early on.
Pretty early on, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was formulaic, totally. But in spite of myself, I found myself really enjoying it. And I felt a little shameful in doing so. Like, I know, it feels like such a betrayal because I love Twister, the original, like 1996, Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Like, amazing movie.
Yeah.
Roll the map. Roll the map. There's so many good quotes in that movie.
Oh, it's so good.
So that being said, though, like, what are the things you liked about Twister? What are the elements that you liked about Twister? The first one, not Twisters, because you haven't seen it.
Personal story.
Yep.
My name is Melissa. There's a Melissa in Twister.
Oh, yeah, the sex therapist.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I didn't like that, like the character you don't like had my name, but it was funny.
Okay.
That's an aside. I just love Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they did, like their characters, their acting, that was great. The action was great. And it was like, I've always been a Storm person, like big time.
Yeah.
And so like it really puts you into the thrill of the danger
Yep.
of a tornado without leaving your movie theater or wherever you are. So it was 96, so we all saw it in the theater. But
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my main things
Okay.
about it.
So everything you just mentioned, except for a Melissa, exists in this movie. There's a good backstory with the main characters.
Okay.
There's some of it's slightly unexpected, and some of it's not. And formulaic stuff does work, which is why it's a formula.
Okay.
But like the main character, I thought going into this, it was going to be like, even in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm like, is that Helen Hunt's daughter? did she like?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
she had a kid and grew up and no, she's not. She's just same kind of thing like Helen Hunt. She's kind of like I would say it's kind of like a reboot. It's a lot like Jurassic World, actually, where it's like you have the same archetypal characters, but it's a new story, but it also acknowledges that the previous movie had already happened.
So it does acknowledge that.
Correct.
Like,
Yes.
Bill and Helen are referenced.
Bill and Helen are not referenced that I can recall.
Okay.
But they have Dorothy, which is the mechanism that they use to like launch all the little things in.
I saw it in the preview. Yeah.
So they have Dorothy, and then Anthony Ramos. His name is Hobby in the movie. He is the one who like he's really into it too, and like they do a flash forward. There's a tragic. I'm doing spoilers, of course, because you're never going to see this.
This is like so weird because we're breaking our format to do this other format, but you're not doing it the way that you normally would tell me.
Did I tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Do you want the quick TLDR? Sorry, I'm getting. You know how verbose I am. The quick TLDR is there's a Clint Eastwood looking guy. He's super handsome, stoic, yet funny. He wins over the girl. They dodge a whole bunch of tornadoes.
Wait, the Matthew McConaughey?
He's not Matthew McConaughey.
I know, but he's like...
He looks way more like Clint Eastwood to me, like a young Clint Eastwood. He's got the squints. He's like this.
Does he?
Movie. He's like this the whole movie. He's squinting.
I only said McConaughey because of the accent. Like he's...
Oh, well...
he has a southern accent, right?
Yeah, he does. He does. He's supposed to be from Arkansas or Oklahoma or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's the classic story.
Wait, he's the YouTuber?
He's the YouTuber.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's the girl? Like, what's her backstory?
Her backstory is, it's the tragic, it's the idealistic, I've been in love with weather ever since I was a little girl. I went to school. I wanted to she wanted to like, Helen Hunt's story arc was she wanted to like figure out how to better predict when they happen.
Yeah.
This girl's
to save people's lives.
To save people's lives.
Yeah.
This girl's is she figured out a theory to make it so tornadoes can stop. So like yeah.
Okay.
It's like, again, it's like the bigger dinosaur.
Right.
So she has this like chemical compound she can like...
No, it's the training of the dinosaurs.
Yes.
To make them stop.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So she has this chemical concoction that she can release into the tornado, and it's supposed to work, and it doesn't. She's a grad student, and it was the last tornado of the year, and all of her team dies except for Javi. That's her tragic backstory.
Oh no, that is tragic.
Yes. So then what's a country girl to do? She moves to the worst place in the world, right? For a country girl, New York City.
Oh, okay.
She gets as far away from the storms as she can. She works for the National Weather Service behind a desk.
Oh.
But you know what? You just can't keep her away from the storms.
No, you cannot.
And so Javi, after a small stint in the Army and getting his hands on experimental, highly portable Army technology, he is able to work for a land-grabbing, money-grubbing organization that funds him so he can triangulate and better calculate how tornadoes work.
Is Javi the good guy who's really bad?
Yes. But he's not. He has an arc too. Like,
okay.
You want to hate him. Like, he gets the funding. He does the bad thing. He's working for the bad guy. But then he ends up redeeming himself in the end and making the right choice.
Wait, why is the bad guy bad?
He's just your classic, like, what happens is Javi and his crew go around like tracking tornadoes and better like using this radar imaging.
Is she on his crew?
She's not.
She's still in New York.
She is. She's on his crew.
Okay.
He's doing this, but he's like, I can't get good readings because I don't have Kate, because Kate's the tornado whisperer. She knows where they're going to be. So he goes to New York, gets her, brings her back to Oklahoma. She doesn't because she's traumatized because her boyfriend got killed, her best friends got killed, and she doesn't want anything to do with it. But then he's like, hey, come on, we could save lives. So she does.
Okay.
So she goes into this situation thinking, oh, I'm going to help. We're going to save lives. We're going to like be able to get all these calculations about tornadoes we've never gotten before. They see the YouTubers who seem like these just like glory hounds. And there's all these like groupies that are like driving around with them, like tornado chasing.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like tornado chasing group. Like I think of like in Roswell, you think of all the alien groupies, you know, the people who just travel around. Or the Deadheads, like for the Grateful Dead band members, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they have that going on. So then she's with the crew that's all scientific and trying to do the high-tech thing. But then you see Javi starting to have conversations with this guy. He's like, oh, that's our funder. Don't worry about it. And every tornado that hits, they like hand out cards to the people who are hit, and they're like, oh, hey, this guy will help you out. Like, do you want to sell your property? So he's just like swooping in, the bad guy, the landowner guy's coming in and just buying property when people are, just in shock from the destruction.
Oh, no, that is evil.
It's pretty evil. Yeah. So
Javi, what are you doing?
he had a true purpose in the beginning.
What is his true purpose?
He wanted to figure out how to better like calculate tornadoes so they could have advanced systems. Like it's that thing.
Okay.
Like I can't do the good thing unless I get money. And so to get the money, I work with these people. And then you get far in, you're like, oh no, what's going on? But the arc for him, though, is Kate shakes him out of it, and he ends up turning around and making the right decision and going and helping out with saving people and everything.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm not going to defend the fire tornado because I can't. The only way I could come close to defending the fire tornado is to say that, there's a lot of refineries in the South and in the oil fields and stuff.
Okay.
So it hits a manufacturing plant. So like there's a manufacturer there. So when a tornado hits it, it causes combustion. And I mean, a tornado is going to make flames. It's just going to suck them up, right? So that's all I got.
Did the flames enter the suck zone?
They absolutely enter the suck zone. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah.
How are we
So
doing?
what about the country YouTuber?
Yeah.
Like, what's his deal? Like,
His deal is
with him?
what was it? You can't. You got to ride your fears or whatever he said.
Yeah, something like that.
There's a very specific reason why he says that. I, like you, am not the hugest of fans of country.
Mm-hmm.
I love Johnny Cash. And I love certain kinds of country, but the general, like, watered down country, not my favorite. But when it's done right contextually in a movie, I don't mind it.
Oh.
And I think it works in some movies. In this movie,
Wow.
I think it works in.
I don't know you.
I'm just
kidding.
All right. You know how every, 25th Ford commercial they make about a truck rumbling down the street? Like every 25th one, you actually like have an emotional chord that's struck in you. You don't know why.
I don't feel that way.
You don't have a heart. I don't know how to better explain it to you. Most of the time I don't. Most of the time it's trite, but every once in a while you're like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. America does stuff sometimes, and I like to like take A and move. You just feel that way, right?
I can really do that good with the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know if I'm on board, but okay.
I'm just saying, every once in a while, things unexpectedly hit you.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with the music in this movie. I'm like, my immediate instinct is, oh,
What?
no, this shouldn't be happening. But then I'm like, there's the waves of wheat are moving, and you see the sun and the tornadoes moving. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. I was taken up in its spell, Melissa. What can I say?
I don't know what to say.
You can say that. I don't know what to say either. Yes.
But okay. I'm just going to put that on the shelf for a while. And
Process
hopefully
however you need to.
next 4th of July, you're not blaring country music. But you said, why does he say like ride it out or something?
Oh.
What's his backstory?
His backstory.
Cowboy YouTuber.
This can't get more. This is going to sound horrible.
Okay.
Um,
I'm ready.
He was a bull rider,
I knew
a rodeo bull
I
rider.
knew it.
And it was about facing his fears, Melissa.
Okay.
It was about facing his fears.
Sure.
Because your fears can rule you or you can ride them. So anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was a
Wow.
bull rider. He
Okay.
hit his head too many times. He had to stop doing that. So, but he also, he decided to start using his head, Melissa.
Uh-huh.
So this is starting to sound like a Hallmark movie. And so he went to college, became a meteorologist, and he's a meteorologist and he likes weather, and he's always liked weather. So that's where it's like a cross between he's a meteorologist and he has this like action junkie background. And then he spins that into, he makes this like super fancy, like tank-esque truck that he uses for storm chasing. Like there's literally like reinforced metal bars around it. It launches flares and fireworks into the tornado.
Okay.
Into the tornado.
Okay. That's meteorology right there. I'm sure.
Yes. And it's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is they literally he and his crew in the truck, they'll like drive into the tornado, stop. And then he's got this button he presses and it drills these drills into the ground to like anchor it. And then the tornado like goes over them. And then they like launch fireworks up into it while it's going.
Okay, wild, but I would totally do that.
I know.
If I had that truck.
Okay, the first time I saw that, I was like, that's ridiculous. The second time I saw it, I was like, that's cool. And then the third time I saw it, I was like, man, that's genius.
3 times. They use it 3 times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it was just, it's a gimmick to like get you, it's gadgets. I love gadgets. And
true.
Having people figure out different kinds of gadgets, the like ragtag YouTuber crew is really neat because they have a whole bunch of gadgets and the way they do all that. So
that was another thing I really liked about the original.
Yeah.
The like figuring out that problem of how to get Dorothy to let the little whirligigs go up.
Yeah.
And like solving it with the windmill stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And they covered that angle too, true Jurassic World style. They had to figure out the right mixtures of the chemicals in order to get it to function correctly. And the secret was there wasn't enough moisture in the tornado, Melissa. So they had to figure out how to get more moisture into it. So they launched silver iodide, I think, into it with the rockets.
Okay.
And then that caused the moisture that made it work and it saved the town. The
Whoa.
end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it a Hallmark movie? Is there like a romance happening here?
Yes, 100%. It had, I can't remember her name. She was on ER. She was one of the doctors. You know how ER went on for like 12 years?
Yeah.
She was a doctor that came in like halfway through. She was a brunette, kind of mousy. I don't remember her name.
Oh, yeah. I remember her.
Yes.
But I don't.
So she was the mom. And so I was just like shocked at seeing her there. I was secretly hoping again it was Helen Hunt. You were just going to see her crop up and she would be the mom.
Was she in the movie?
She was not in the movie. No.
Okay.
So she was the mom, and she was pushing her daughter. The YouTuber guy came over and visited them at the house when she finally went and visited her mom. So they had a good old country cookout and all that.
Also, like the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Melissa, they had a barn in this movie.
Oh.
And the barn had lots of things in it.
Wait a second.
Now, I just know how you feel about barns.
Oh, okay. There's a lot going on in my head right now. First of all,
Yeah.
thought you were saying that the barn was a scene of
No.
the romance.
No. Well, I mean, it was the scene of blossoming interest in each other. Intellectual sparring is what the barn was the scene of.
Okay. Well, also, like, there was a barn in the original, and it was full of, like,
those
size
and blades and
like just totally deadly things that were hanging.
Yeah,
so,
no. This one had her like, she had like a 7th grade science, like it was a huge town diorama, like model. And
cool.
She made a giant tornado thing where there was a fan on top and you could see a tornado like actually form over it and it knocked the houses over.
I really like that.
It was really cool.
That's cool.
So, that was the story, like starting where you're like the YouTuber guys, he's like trying to figure her out because she's all broody and mysterious. Hey, that kind of works, doesn't it, Melissa?
Maybe.
And then so the guy's like, what's going on here? She's like, I don't know. I got stuff in my past.
It's personal.
It's personal. Works every time. So then he goes, talks to his mom. His mom's like, you don't know what you're getting into, honey. And then
it's his mom?
No, it's her mom.
It's her mom. Okay.
Yes. She says to him, you don't know what you're getting into, kind of a deal.
Okay.
And and then they end up saving the town with the chemical stuff. He helps her make a difference and follow her dream again. And then she goes back to the big city. And there's that moment at the airport. Yeah, because like Javi turns around and he's like, all right, I'm on the right side of things again. And she and Javi are going to get a grant with the National Weather Service. And they're going to like talk about how to use the scans they had done and the chemical composition thing to like figure out how to basically actionalize it so they can stop tornadoes.
Okay.
So she's going back to do that. And then the YouTuber guy shows up at the airport when she's about to go.
Oh.
This is where it turns a little Hallmarky.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, it was nice seeing you or whatever. She's like, yeah, I'll
Fine.
see. She's like, look me up, maybe whatever non-flirty answer. And it was like the total moment in the movie where she's like, kiss me, and he doesn't. And then him and Javi are sitting there and she's walked away and they look at each other. And then a guy comes up and he's like, all right, I'll see you later. I don't know why I'm hand puppeting. But anyway.
It's working.
Thank you. Javi's like, I'll see you later. He's like, yeah, okay, YouTube, whatever. And then he walks away. And then this other guy comes up, the parking attendant. And this was the most real part of the movie. You know how whenever you park at an airport?
Okay, yes.
The attendants come up and they're like, you need to move. Like now. Right. That happens.
Yes.
Like, how many times has that happened?
You are destroying the system.
Yes.
Get out of here now.
How dare you? So that happens to him. And this is the most, this is almost as bad as your tagline. So
my tagline was solid.
It was something. I don't think it would stand up the muster of a Twister, but okay.
Well, obviously the tagline should be ride your fear. Or
ride your
something.
fear.
Yeah.
Ride your fear. So
the parking guy?
The parking attendant, like, you got to move now or I'm calling the tow truck. So he gets in his truck and then he's looking at her and he sees her in the distance walking in the glass and he looks at the camera and he's like, shakes his head slowly. Nope. And then he pushes the drill button and the drills go into the concrete in the road, like in front of where you go to the airport.
This is so cheesy.
So cheesy. And then
oh my gosh. Were you like, yeah, or were you like, cheese?
No.
What was your reaction?
I was like, yeah, cheese. That was probably my reaction.
Okay.
I was like, oh no, he didn't. But he did. And so
crazy.
Then he goes into the airport. He follows up with her, like he gets up like next to her and he's like, hey, how's it? Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking forward to seeing you or whatever he says. And then she's like, hey, you're here. And then all of a sudden there's like a PA thing that comes on. It's like, all flights are canceled for the blah, 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 because of weather. And then they both like look at the camera and smile and then walk away and that's the end of the movie.
The whole looking at the camera at the end.
Yeah, maybe they're looking at each other. I don't know. Maybe I was just feeling a connection because of the piercing of the like the
Did it pierce your heart?
It did a little.
When it went to, we were like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, if there's ever any attendant you want to stick it to, it's that person who's telling you to move your car when you're like, my dad's right there. I just need to pick up my wife for my child. Like, they're right there. They're like, you gotta move. It felt really good. It was very satisfying.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
That's a really long explanation of that movie.
But this is the beauty of it.
Yes.
Now I feel like I've seen it.
Right?
Yeah.
Any parts you need more clarification on? You want to know how many white T-shirts that the lead character wore that were tight? 3, I think, but that's just guessing. I don't remember.
With something tied around her waist.
Oh no, I was talking about the guy, not the girl. Oh, actually,
wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
In the preview, we saw a rodeo.
Yes.
Was he at the rodeo? Was that his rodeo flashback?
No.
Okay.
Like, that was the warming situation. And this is like weather analogies too. Like when the heat goes up and the storm can form. So like the relationship was warming. She was like,
whoa,
you
just went deep.
I go very deep.
You
like,
drilled down.
Drills.
Yeah.
Yes. He'd noticed it was after a tornado hit a town. I think 2 or 3 hits of towns happened in this one. So like the first one happened and she was like bummed and whatever. It's a hard day. And he's like, hey, he just drops by her hotel room. He's like, did you need some dinner? And he gave her a pizza. And then he's like, she stops and then they talk or whatever. She isn't going to talk to him, but then she goes to the door and he's still standing there. And he's like, I'm going to take you somewhere. Is that okay? And she's like, sure. They don't eat the pizza. So I'm like, what happened to the pizza? They just leave the pizza in the hotel room.
I hate it when movies and shows do that.
I really do too.
I do.
Anyway.
The Expanse, notorious. Yeah.
Yeah. They think the entire time they just keep calling her City Girl because she doesn't tell them anything about herself. So they think she's from New York and she's a city girl. So he's like, City Girl, here's the rodeo. This is something special for you to witness.
Oh.
And that's how they got to the rodeo. And that's where his backstory comes out. And because one of the guys who's riding the bulls, he like looks at him and he does his little tornado move that he does on his YouTube channel. And she's like, how does that guy know you? And he's like, well, I used to ride it.
Does he really talk like that?
I don't remember. I'm embellishing it probably. He definitely has a southern accent though in the movie. So
So, okay. sometimes like these movies, I end up loving because I can see that the director loved the original as much as I did, right? And like that, when that comes through, it's like the Care Bear heart like shining through, and just and then I feel like, okay, even if I maybe didn't enjoy everything about it, but the love is there. We share the love for the first one.
Sure.
Did you experience that? Like, do you think it was kind of on that level?
I think so. I think this was probably, I'm going to compare it to The Thing. The Thing and The Thing, like, prequel. I can't remember. Did I show you The Thing prequel?
Yeah.
Or no. Okay.
Right. The one that was made. Wait.
It has Ramona in it from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. I see that.
Okay.
Thank you. That's
no problem.
exactly how I know it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So
that's such a good job.
Yeah. That movie is very much a love letter to the first one, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't quite to that level, right? But it got all the elements. Like I said, all the things you listed that you liked about the first one: quirky people, gadgets, science nerding out, weather, very personal backstory and driven characters. It has a
threat and thrill of the storm.
Yeah. And there's very much, they established the threat of the storm very early in the movie. They ground you in that. So it has all the elements that made the first one really fun. So as much as I really, 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 really didn't want to like it.
I didn't either.
I didn't, but I did. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was relaxing, and it was storming outside. I'm a very big fan of like when there's like things that are happening seasonally, watching movies in the season, and there was a storm happening. So I was hearing the storm hitting like the windows, and it just adds to the ambiance. So
totally.
It was enjoyable.
Okay. Another question.
Yes.
Anthony Ramos.
Yes.
How did he do? Like,
he had really weird hair.
Really?
They talked about it in the movie too, because he had like a little man bun in the beginning, like when he was the scrubby college student.
Yeah.
And then he cut his hair, so then he had kind of like this tiny little fro the rest of it, and people were kind of commenting on it, which was kind of funny. He did good. Like, he was a solid, like, you could see some of the conflict going on, with like his character, with what he was going through. It was like he did good. It's the kind of part where you could really easily hate the guy in his character, but you didn't hate him. So
cool.
Which is a cool way to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we saw him in The Heights, and then we saw him in The Hamilton that's on Disney. We haven't seen it in person yet. But loved him in Hamilton, but in The Heights, I think it suffered from being like long.
Yeah, like
just it was just a long
The Heights
movie.
is a little too much. We were like way high on Hamilton, and then we were like, let's check out The Heights. And then we're like,
this is
that's a lot.
nothing like it.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
I gotta revisit that one someday, but it might be a while from now.
With an intermission.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions you have about this one?
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part? What?
A favorite part, but what I really mean is your favorite like tornado
moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the whole cat and mouse-ness that the original Twister had, and this one, where there's like the tornado whisperers trying to figure out where it's going to go and where it's going to turn.
Yeah.
There's a couple cool moments like that.
Okay.
Those are good. I think you mean like the craziest tornado moment, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, craziest, but like something flying that you were like, oh, that's cool that they did that or whatever. What?
There's one scene where they're driving and literally like a chicken coop hits them, and you see feathers like pour everywhere out of it. And then once the whole scene's done and the tornado's gone through, a chicken lands like right on the hood of the car.
Oh my gosh.
That was probably my favorite.
That's so Muppets.
Yeah, it was very Muppets.
That's really cool. Okay, I like that.
The use of the drill thing, I thought it was, like I said, the emotional journey I went on with that gadget was so crazy, but that was really cool. The idea of being able to like safely like go into a tornado like that is so cool.
It's like a shark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they even had like they had in the truck, they had like race car harnesses that they would put on. So they were like tied to their seats, not just regular seat belts, like the kind you'd have in like a jet or something. They were like really ready for the tornado.
I could see that becoming like a weird YouTube thing that people do.
I really could too. I wouldn't be surprised if we looked it up and there were people actually doing this. Like it felt that level of like, yeah, I could see people doing this.
I'd love to talk to our friend who was in Oklahoma who has often tornado warnings and like a real tornado cellar thing. Now I'm doing the hands to get his
storm cellar.
Yeah,
That's
storm cellar.
Yeah.
To get his take on. We should have him watch the movies.
Good luck getting him to watch it, but yes.
I wonder if he's seen the first one.
Oh my goodness, if he hasn't,
that would be our next podcast.
You gotta watch him. Yeah.
So Alan, if you're listening,
you gotta watch.
Get ready.
Yeah. Next time it's Twister.
Yeah.
You want to know what messages were in this movie? Or are you good?
What, if any, messages were in this movie?
I don't know. Nick? What messages do you think were in this?
I don't feel I have the authority to answer that.
You're so lucky that you got a scapegoat this time. Melissa, you got to ride your fear. Or else your fear is going to ride you. That's the message of this movie.
Okay.
Oh, that and even amongst all the gadgets and all of the down-home country basic stuff, there's always room for one incredibly fashionable piece of accessory.
Oh, what was it?
There was one scene where Kate she's the main character. You like see her and she's like staring at the storm and she's embraced her new trying to kill tornadoes basically. And, or the tornado tamer, I think is what they called her. And from the back, it looked like she was wearing, you know how detectives have those leather like holsters that go around your shoulders?
Yeah.
From the back, it looked like she was wearing one of those. And I'm like, did she get a gun all of a sudden? And she's gonna like shoot the lids off of the like dust things or something?
Your brain always goes to weapons. It probably does not look like that.
No. If you saw this holster, you would think this. I'm gonna show you the holster thing. Okay. I still don't know what it is. I had to infer what it was. But it was like one thick leather strap on one side, and you could see it clearly like kind of doing a cross thing. It's not just like a purse strap. But she's holding a camera. So I'm like, is it a really fancy like hook for a camera where you have the camera at your side and you bring it up?
Like a harness?
Yeah, harness. But it totally looked like a gun holster, like a detective gun holster.
Okay.
I swear. If there weren't, I swear by the at least 678 white cowboy hats that were in this movie, that it looked like a gun holster.
We just found out.
Oh, the director?
The director, he did something.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. He directed some episodes of Skeleton Crew, which is a Disney show.
Yes.
We were just watching.
It was Lee Isaac Chung. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just a magical show. Yeah, I think going back to like what you were talking about, if the director loves it, I would wager. This is not based on fact. I don't know, but given it having those elements and the coolest part they had where you had to hide from a tornado was they went in a pool, which felt weird.
A pool with water in it?
No water in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
They went into a pool, and this one had a lot of super tense moments of like people on the ground. And they're like, you have to stay close to the ground because if you're like on your hands and knees or a little higher, you'll get like sucked up.
Yeah.
Didn't have that in the first one as much, really.
It was just, they were in the field and there were those pipes and they lashed themselves to the pipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one, like, there were a lot of scenes where the tornado's getting close and it's like, if you're not on your stomach, people were getting like sucked up and flew off. So
that's
like
always really scared me.
Yeah. You would be scared of them.
Because I've always wondered, okay, if I'm driving, because I live, where I live, there are tornadoes.
Yeah.
Not many.
No, true.
But if I'm driving and there's a tornado, I see one, what do I do? Because, like, I can't drive. I might not know how to get away from it, right?
Yeah.
It might be hard to tell what directions it's going in.
Yeah.
So do I get out of the car? Do I go in a ditch? My plan was always to get into a ditch.
Okay.
Because I thought it would be safer closer to the ground. Like, I had that idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is not advice for anyone, by the way.
No.
This is just her
No.
This is advice, though, from the movie that I learned. Always have a dandelion with you. And when you need to figure out which direction the tornado's going, you take the dandelion and you like go. And the little seeds go off of it and you can watch it go on the wind. And then you can tell which way the tornado's going to go. And that's just drive the other way.
But we also know that tornadoes change direction.
That's why you have 2 dandelions.
Fair point. Okay.
And so, you feeling equipped? Do you think you could have a water cooler conversation about this movie now?
Totally. Yes.
Awesome. Successful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed this. So thank you for walking me through the movie.
You're welcome.
Thank you for doing the hard work of watching it.
It was so hard.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome. Well,
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Tell us what you think of this film in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.